Do I regret voting for Donald Trump? Seems to be the question of the hour for a lot of people.
Oh boy.
Pigott was abruptly fired last month from the Treasury Department's Bureau of Fiscal Service, based here in Parkersburg, West Virginia. The reason given for the firings of 125 probationary employees at the Bureau? Poor performance.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
You voted for Donald Trump.
I did.
Do you regret that vote?
Yes, I do. To cut the knees out of the working class Americans just doesn't make sense to me. I expected more from President Donald Trump.
Since speaking out, Pigott says she's received death threats and her home has been egged.
Yeah, she had her flag out, she wore the t-shirt, she was very much in Donald Trump's corner, and now she regrets it. She would not have voted for Donald Trump again, and you're seeing this sentiment all over the country. There were a lot of people out there who voted for Donald Trump to lower grocery prices or lower gas prices. Now, obviously, that's not happening, and instead, he's firing people from their jobs and destroying the federal government. We are already seeing a lot of regret from Trump voters, and I think that's only going to increase, just like you saw there.
And there's your problem, Miss Pigott. You expected more from Donald Trump after 10 years of seeing him in the public spotlight. You expected Donald Trump, when push comes to shove, to care about anyone but himself and his donor class of friends and billionaires. Gotta read between the lines, Miss Pigott.
Please, please do not touch that. It is very hot. It's not hot. You're fear-mongering right now. It's glowing red. Oh, you mean more liberal propaganda? Oh, okay. Oh, but I wanted this. Wait, what? Trump told us this would happen? Do you want some ice for that? Do I want some ice? Are you a socialist? Your skin is peeling. You don't understand that I have to do this now so that things will be better later. Okay, but you're crying right now too. These are tears of freedom.
Trump gonna make America great again. If he could get me some tariffs, you get me tariff this country, that company, and force company close down and come back to America. And I can get myself a job on a car, my assembly line, screwing in windshield wipers. Yup.
So many of these voters thought Trump would fix everything, lower gas prices, reduce grocery costs, and improve their quality of life. But what happened instead? Job losses, massive layoffs, and now these same people are feeling the heat. Let's be real. When Trump was campaigning, he made all these promises, and people believed him. They thought he would work for the average American. But the reality, he's more focused on making sure his billion buddies stay happy. The working class folks who put their faith in him, they are now getting laid off, struggling with high prices, and realizing that all those promises were just empty words. It's fascinating to see how people react when reality doesn't match their expectations. Many of these voters spent years chanting, "Make America Great Again," and attacking anyone who criticized Trump. But now, with the economy not favoring them, they are questioning their choices. The regret is loud, and you can see it all over social media. People are posting about how they never thought they would lose their jobs under Trump, how they can't afford rent, how they can't even buy groceries without feeling the pinch. And here's where it gets interesting. Some of them still refuse to admit they were wrong. Instead of holding Trump accountable, they're blaming Biden. Yes, Biden, who is not even in office right now. Please make it make sense. They're out here twisting reality, acting like economy is bad because of anyone else except Trump. But let's face the facts. The economy is struggling, and Trump's policies aren't helping the people who voted for him. They're hurting them.
Does anybody else ever think about the fact that Biden fired federal workers in 2021 for not getting a certain something and nobody said a word? But Trump fires federal workers for not doing their jobs and everybody's outraged. I'm just miffed.
You're miffed? Well, I'm vexed. And you said Trump fired people for not doing their jobs? Where's your fucking proof they didn't do their jobs? Because he said it? Let's take a look at someone who didn't do their job.
I had my last review on the 31st of January, and I had the highest rating that you can get on a review, less than 21 days before I was terminated for my performance.
Seems like horseshit to me. Imagine busting your ass, taking pride in your job, being good at what you do, being the best at what you do, and you lose your job. Even though you voted for Trump, you lost your job for no fucking reason. People like you compare Biden and Trump in the most fucked up ways. Biden was trying to protect the country. Over 1.1 million people lost their lives. Trump is firing people so he can find money to give a tax cut to the super wealthy. Tens of thousands of people lost their jobs under Trump, and thousands of veterans lost their jobs. There's going to be more veterans on the street. Don't you guys care about veterans? Or that's just a talking point? So yes, Maga, it is normal to be outraged when thousands of people get fired for absolutely nothing. Perhaps if you read a little bit, did a little research, and stopped following far right-wing bullshit propaganda sites, you wouldn't have the scowl on your face. You wouldn't be mad about everything. You wouldn't be scowling over everything.
One of the things that bugs me most about Trump supporters, besides like everything, is that if they ever actually admit that they were wrong to vote for him and that he sucks, they're going to be like, well, everyone makes mistakes. Democrats are supposed to be the party of forgiveness. I made a mistake. And like, that is what makes me want to die.
Something funny is some of these Trump supporters have admitted that they felt bad when Obama was elected. Let's talk about that for a second. Obama was one of the best presidents America has ever had. His leadership, policies, and presence on the global stage were respected. So why did they feel bad? What was it about a black man in power that made them feel so uncomfortable? That speaks volume about the mindset of some of these voters. But let's take it a step further. What does it say about America that some people were so devastated by Obama's presidency but proudly supported Trump? It shows how deep-rooted the division is in America. And now, those same people are the ones crying about their economy struggles when they had a chance to vote for someone who actually cared about the people. The irony of this entire situation is that many of these voters were warned. They were told that Trump was only in it for himself. They were told that his tax cuts only benefited the wealthy. They were told that his policies would hurt working-class Americans. But they ignored all that. Instead, they attacked anyone who spoke against Trump. And now, they are learning the hard way.
So it appears as though the regret is already starting for the Trump supporters, because tell me why. Back in 2016, I had a friend that I am clearly no longer friends with, and her mom started an argument with me in my Facebook comment section the day after Trump got elected back then, telling me, imagine how they felt when Obama was elected. And I said, oh, no, baby. And then I clocked her tea. And let me just tell you guys, young Phoebe didn't play, because why was my first sentence, first of all, why are you 40 arguing with a 16-year-old? And second of all, while we're here, let me present to you all of the ways in which I know more than you. I say this all to say, I opened my phone today and she has sent me an apology 10 years later. And it wasn't quite clear if she was apologizing for the lack of morality or for the fact that she was 40 arguing with a 16-year-old back then. But I politely let her know that maybe reconciliation isn't the best idea right now, because if she thought I was nasty back then, she really shouldn't try talking to me about politics in 2025. Is it happening? Are they seeing the consequences of their actions?
Okay, I want to take a moment to say thank you to Donald Trump, not out of praise, but out of truth. Because while you rip through every part of this government, tearing down justice, equality, and fairness under the fake excuse of fighting DEI fraud, what you're really doing is confirming what black folks have been saying for generations. America was built on racism, fueled by fear and sustained by white supremacy. You've exposed it all. The masks are off. The polite racism, the fake allyship, the colorblind lies, it's all gone. Now we see it raw and unfiltered. You're not just targeting policy, you're targeting people. Black people, brown people, marginalized communities. And the wild part, we make up the smallest portion of this country, yet somehow we are the biggest threat to the lie that white supremacy built. That should tell you everything. You're afraid not of violence, not of replacement, but of the power we hold even when we have nothing. You see the way our culture, our brilliance, our resilience, our excellence continues to shape this country, even when it tries to erase us. Donald Trump is just the loudest version of a system that's always been in place. He is the living, breathing proof that this country was never designed with us in mind. And yet, we continue to define it. So thank you, Donald, for exposing what so many tried to deny, for showing the world that the fear of Black greatness is real, for proving that racism isn't in our imagination, it's in the fabric of this nation. And to my people, we don't have to fight to prove our worth. He's doing that for us. All we have to do is stand firm, stay awake, and know that the truth is finally louder than the lie. We are not broken. We are not the problem. We are the evidence of the power that this country can contain. Let that truth ring louder than his hate.
And let's talk about layoffs. Trump's presidency is proving that he is more interested in protecting corporations than protecting the average worker. His policies favor big businesses, and when those businesses decide to cut costs, who suffers? The very people who voted for him. So now we have thousands of Americans losing their jobs. And instead of taking responsibility, Trump is shifting the blame elsewhere. What's even crazier is that some of these voters are still defending him. They are making excuses, saying things like, oh, he's just doing what is best for the economy. But how is firing people from their jobs good for economy? How is making life harder for middle-class families a good thing? The truth is, Trump is more concerned with keeping his billionaire friends happy than with helping the people who actually put him in power. This regret we are seeing from Trump supporters is a prime example of what happens when people vote based on emotions rather than facts. Many of these voters supported Trump because they hated the Democrats, not because they actually believed he had a solid plan. And now they are seeing the consequences of their own choices. But here's the big question. Will they learn from this? Will they admit they were wrong? Or will they continue making excuses and defending Trump? Based on history, some will keep up, but others will double down. That is just the nature of politics. At the end of the day, reality is hitting Trump supporters hard. They thought he was their savior, but now they are losing their jobs, struggling with rising prices, and realizing that their loyalty was misplaced. The real question is, will they finally learn from this, or will they keep making excuses? Let's break this down even further. When you look at Trump's economic policies, it's clear that they were never designed to benefit the middle class. Tax cuts for the wealthy, deregulation that favored big corporations, and cuts to social programs. These were all warning signs. But many voters ignored them because they were sold a dream, a vision of greatness that was never really for them. Trump has always been a businessman first, and politicians like him know how to manipulate their base. Now, let's talk about something that often gets overlooked: how Trump supporters treated others when they were in power. Many of these same people who are now regretting their vote were the ones mocking liberals, attacking people who protested against Trump, and telling others to get over it when they voiced concerns about his policies. So now that they're on the receiving end of the hardship, it's interesting to see how quickly their perspective is changing. It's also worth noting that Trump's approach to leadership has never been about unity or building a strong economy for all. His strategy has always been about catering to a specific base while dismissing everyone else. But the problem with this approach is that even his base is now feeling the impact of his policies. And as the economy continues to decline, more and more people will begin to realize that their trust was misplaced. So what happens next? Will these voters hold Trump accountable, or will they continue making excuses? That remains to be seen. But one thing is clear: Trump's presidency is exposing the reality of his leadership, and many of his supporters are struggling to come to terms with that truth. At the end of the day, this situation serves a lesson about the importance of voting based on facts rather than emotions. It's easy to get caught up in the political rhetoric, but when it comes down to it, policies matter more than slogans. And unfortunately, many people are only realizing this now when it's too late. Anyway, let me know what you guys think in the comments. Are these voters finally waking up, or is it too late? Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe as well. And until next time, guys, bye-bye.